Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for inviting me along to speak. Most of you won't know who I am. I happen to be a councillor in the London Borough of Waltham Forest. 28 years a councillor, actually, yeah. And I've been leading on various stuff in the environment, climate space for the last 16 years. And here today to talk about our response to flooding and surface water stuff. And there's a few people in the audience I recognise. Yeah, let's make a start. There we go. So I think our journey really begins in Waltham Forest, July 25th, Sunday in 2021, when Waltham Forest had over a month's worth of rain hit it in just a couple of hours, and it was a kind of real wake-up call really to us in Waltham Forest that we needed to do more in this particular space around surface water flooding in particular, that we couldn't, as probably most of us had traditionally thought, rely on the water companies for all the answers to all of the ills that probably over the last couple of hundred years we as the population of Waltham Forest had kind of created, whether in terms of our behaviours or the way we built stuff and used stuff. So it was a massive wake-up call, and the big areas that were impacted were part of Walthamstow, Wood Street, and in particular part of Leytonstone, which was my ward, Upper Leytonstone, Esther and Wadley Road, but they followed the catchment of the Phillybrook, which is a culverted river, and it just filled up and burst. And we had homes that 200 homes where water access, 28 local schools were impacted. Whips Cross Hospital was impacted, and they were just about to start evacuating wards. But we just managed to kind of contain it, and the rain stopped. But upwards of 700 millimetres of water in some people's homes. We had those classic shots because we do like to introduce a degree of drama when we have a trauma in the UK, don't we? So we had those classic shots of people in their inflatable canoes going down streets and such like. But it was a real wake-up call to us in Waltham Forest. And what we've got here is just a couple of pictures of some of the areas that were impacted. Yeah, this is the power room in Whips Cross Hospital, for example. So, so it wasn't just people's homes, it was some major social and community infrastructure, health infrastructure, that is really, really important to the population of Waltham Forest. Our response was, of course, set up a task and finish group, as you do as a council. Lessons to be learnt. We hadn't gone through this level of significant surface water flooding before, so clearly we needed to learn some lessons. Our traditional responses to such, whilst kind of probably got us through by being able to evacuate people and be able to put people up in emergency accommodation and such like, probably wasn't what we would need if we were to experience this before. Obviously, we started contacting key stakeholders. We did the Section 19 report, as you have to do. Various things. We put together a multi-agency kind of response. But we did start to recognise that we needed to do more ourselves as a council, or facilitate more ourselves as a council. So we started to look at our community infrastructure levy in a way that perhaps we hadn't done before, and this is still at a time where councils in London were still able to build stuff, and there was still development going on, so we had some money coming in. We started to kind of build a relationship with Thames Water that probably we hadn't had before. You know, our relationship with Thames Water was normally on, there's a burst water main, when are you going to fix it? Why haven't you told us you're fixing it today? And causing all these delays with our major road network. It was more that kind of relationship. We recognised that we needed a different relationship with Thames Water moving forward. We needed a relationship with DFE as well. We needed a relationship with the Environment Agency and the multitude of different organisations in London that have the word flooding or flood within, or water within their kind of organisational title, and there are many, and we do like then creating a new one as well, as Flood Ready London, for example, which we now have as well. So a lot kind of to kind of build relationships, as well as just look at some of our day-to-day stuff a little bit differently. You know, our kind of gully cleansing schedule, we kind of gave that some greater emphasis. Because, you know, residents suffering trauma from a flooded home will inevitably look to blame someone, an organisation, for what has gone wrong, you know, and they rightly questioned what the council was or wasn't doing. They rightly questioned Thames Water. You know, the solution is bigger pipes underground, was the initial kind of feedback from our residents, and it was Thames Water's fault, all Thames Water's fault. It wasn't the fact that they'd been paving over their front gardens, reducing permeability of their homes for years and years and years, and that they'd inherited that from previous owners. The council wasn't cleaning gullies and drains enough. What's a gully? What's a drain? What's the council's responsibility? What's Thames Water's responsibility? Cut the trees down because it's the leaves that are creating, reducing capacity within the drainage system. It's not the fatbergs and the other stuff that we flushed down there. All of these things all kind of came into a mix, and it was about lifting the knowledge of our residents around how these things happen and why they happen going forward. That said, over the last kind of 5 years, we have managed to pull in quite considerable amounts of money from the Environment Agency, from Thames Water, from DFE, from our own community infrastructure levy and Section 106 and various other funds to start a significant programme of flood mitigation across Waltham Forest. So this is some stuff that we've done in Chingford, which is to the north of Waltham Forest. And of course, what starts to kind of then get triggered is flood mitigation. Flood mitigation looks bloody great, doesn't it? I mean, what's not to like? Yet some of the debates and discussions around these ones in Chingford were about the loss of playing field capacity. Well, this was playing field capacity that could not be used for the vast chunk of the playing season simply because it was totally waterlogged and looked ugly and messy. But actually, with a little bit of imagination, all of a sudden you've got something that is stopping some homes being flooded in that locality and looks bloody great, and is great for our health and well-being, great for biodiversity. It ticks so many boxes and it looks stunning and great. Yet you have to go through all of these discussions still with our residents to kind of get buying. But now you talk to some people, they just feel like this has been there forever, because nature finds a way to actually take over a space really, really quickly. Brook Road, so this was the big area in Walthamstow that was flooded in July 21. You've already seen a picture of this school, probably from the other end. This is the 200 metres of rain garden that we put in. This was actually the exact location where Ros Little, the standard journalist, was with me one day when we were doing an anti-idling campaign. Oh wow, I'm being told I've got 2 minutes. Sure, everyone else had a lot longer. Yeah, anyway, another day, another story. But this school was flooded in that time, and we had to pull in a lot of money from a number of partners to kind of get the school back open. But you can see the extent of how deep we had to go and the utilities that are underneath. And of course, once you start putting diggers into these spaces, all those pipes start cracking because utilities haven't been looking after them. So you get a double whammy because they have to then come in and upgrade all those facilities. So that's great. This is Upper Leytonstone. This is the area where I was just kind of talking to. That's where you just saw that's Esther Road, which is the parallel road to Wadley Road, where you saw the drone footage of. Esther Road went for the scheme straight away. We consulted on them and said, yes, of course. Why do we want to be flooded? Again, it was traumatic. It was horrible. Yes, if you can get this scheme in, brilliant. So we got this scheme in. Wadley Road, the one you saw the drone footage of, which was this scheme. No, we do not want it. We will lose car parking spaces. Well, you've just gone through this traumatic experience of many of your neighbours actually having to move out for upwards of a year. Some still haven't got their insurance through. Doesn't matter. We will lose car parking spaces. Yeah, but you can move your car. You can't move your home. And it's some of these really basic discussions. 3 times we had to consult to get that scheme through. And it was really only when Esther Road had been finished and people could see actually the difference that it was making. People could see what a permeable road surface, because we've got permeable road in place here, so the water drains away as well. The difference that it was making, that they were finally convinced. So all of the conversations we'd had with them wasn't enough. It was actually seeing and believing the difference that could be made that really made the difference. But Wadley Road ended up going for it as well, and they are as happy as pie. I can walk down that road canvassing, as I'm doing a lot of at the moment, and yeah, it's gratefully received. Chestnut Fields is another big scheme that we've done in Waltham. So this is basically 3 kind of reservoirs that we put in. There's a technical term for it, but we like to talk about reservoirs now and wetlands. But a huge funding group of people to be able to kind of put this scheme together. And this is at the back of the town halls, open space, absolutely magic kind of walking around there. Previously, it was just a piece of grass that dog walkers used because no one else could really use it, and now it looks stunning. It's great for wildlife, adding to our biodiversity, net gain, and all of those kind of triggers as well. This is Sutherland Road, so this is actually the longest residential rain garden in the world. You can actually see it from outer space, along with Walthamstow Market and the Great Wall of China. I'm reliably informed because I've never been to space, but yeah, and there's Mete with his totally impractical white trainers for planting a rain garden. But yeah, so, really, really good scheme. But again, proof that you can do this in a residential kind of area, and the need to do it in residential areas. You need to find, these need to be the norm. And just on the change of design over the years, and there's no one from DFT here? If only the DFT was using this kind of stuff as a benchmark for successful local authority work on the highways, rather than just how they deal with potholes, I think we'd all be in a lot better place. Yeah, the designs are changing. We do need to normalise it. I still have political parties that want to rethink, reconsult on this stuff because it takes away car parking spaces. They think that is still the trigger for winning votes. We still have a lot of work, even in Waltham Forest, even though we've had that trauma of significant flooding, shared experiences of the impact of significant flooding. Even though that exists, people still think about car parking spaces. They still chop down and murder trees that we've just planted. That's how much some of this stuff can be in terms of triggering. So we've still got a lot of work to do. But the change in design for the betterment of dealing with surface water flooding, I think the arguments are well made and have been won, but there is still an irrational kickback to a lot of this stuff. And then just finally, we've done a lot on water butts as well. It's simple stuff. Permeability, water butts, the point you were making right at the start around taking ownership. This is simple stuff. It doesn't need to be over-strategised. It doesn't need to be over-designed. These are simple responses to a challenge and a problem that we have created over hundreds of years, ultimately. So we've already got 1,500 water butts that have been, thankfully, largely funded by Thames Water. Thank you very much. And you've just given some money for another 500. And the response to those has been phenomenal. You know, we could probably get 10,000 water butts out there if we had the funding, just like that. And we've got our own company, Service Store, that are installing them as well. And again, it's just great to see, walking down some of these streets, great to see, and it acts as an advert to the stuff that we need to do, because it is very physical and very obvious. And sometimes that is the point that needs to be made. And then just some works that we've done recently, some works we're about to do. We're about to start on Windsor and Elphinstone a year earlier. Flood Ready London are going to make an announcement on that tomorrow, and some other stuff. And Philly Phase 1, Leighton Sixth Form, we started on that 2 weeks ago. So, you know, lots going on. We've done a lot, but there's a lot more to do, and this is a big emerging agenda for local government and local councils that we need to be all over. But we're very proud to be working with Thames Water Environment Agency, TfL, a whole host of others to actually do this. And we will not turn people down if they want to come and help us deliver this, because we know how important it is to the future of our residents and their families. Thank you.